everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm back today with another pregnancy video. So today I wanted to speak about our 12-week scan and our 16-week midwife appointment where we got to hear the heartbeat. Sorry if I sound like I've got a cold, I'm a bit bummed up. I don't know how because I haven't left the house, but these things happen. Also 100% excuse the dressing gown, but it's really comfortable and it's keeping me really warm. And you just have to opt for comfort these days. So my 12-week scan letter came through not long after my first midwife appointment. I think my first midwife appointment was 10 weeks and I speak all about that in my first video. And it was literally, I'm talking less than a week after I had that appointment, I got my letter through. So it literally just told us where to go, where we had to be, all the rules around COVID and what time. So our scan was on a Monday and it was at the local hospital. Well, the local hospital is Truro, if anybody knows, Cornwall area, so it's about half an hour drive from us, and our appointment was at 3:30, so we obviously didn't want to get there late. They threaten you by saying they'll cancel your appointment and all that, so we actually got to the hospital about 40 minutes before our appointment, much to Lou's pleasure. But yeah, once we got to the building that we needed to go to, again, COVID rules apply, so there was a man sitting in like the entrance with a table, and they told us to wear our masks. And as soon as we walked in and spoke to the guy, he was like, take some of these masks, which are the proper disposable NHS ones, I guess. And then we had to go back outside and take our masks off and put those on, because I'm guessing they have to check that they're the right standards. And then Lou wasn't allowed to come in the building until our actual appointment was called. So I went in and signed in at the reception and sat down. And I think I only had to wait maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And then the lady came to get us, the sonographer came to get us, so we went out to get Lou. And then she took us through and she was a lovely lady. It's nice when you have like kind people in that environment, because if you are a bit nervous and you're not really sure what to expect, it really does relax you, so she was lovely. So she took us into the room. Lou had to sit in the corner, not near me, or I don't know why not near me, but not near either of us. And she just sort of, we didn't really speak for long before I was laying down. I think she just checked if I was a drinker and a smoker, which I'm not really. Well, I'm not a smoker and I barely drink before. And then just a few other things. And then she laid me down and I had to pull my jeans down quite far. And that's great advice. If you go into a scan, don't bother wearing jeans. Mine were high-waisted as well, which did not help. Definitely recommend wearing like leggings or something, because it just makes the process so much easier. And yeah, Lou wasn't really allowed to come and sit next to me at the bed. He could move over so he could see the screen, but he had to stay back, I guess, because it's not fair to bring him near the sonographer. Put the jelly stuff on, and there was our baby. And again, I mentioned this in my last video, it's quite nerve-wracking before you've actually seen it, because you do in your head feel like you've made it up. And I thought, I kept thinking, I wonder if they tested to see if I was actually pregnant at my first midwife appointment. Because I know sometimes I've heard from people that have actually had to meet with a GP before they've seen the midwife, just so they can actually confirm they are pregnant. But I never actually knew if they'd done that for me. So when I actually saw baby on the screen, it was like, well, it was relief anyway, but it was so nice. We were so excited about it. And the first thing she said was about the strong heartbeat, so that was nice to know. Could see it beating away, and that there was only one baby, and we were relieved. And Lou is a twin, which I don't know if I've mentioned that before, but Lou is a twin. So before I'd researched it, it actually did play on my mind for a bit, but actually I think it's the woman that carries the twin gene. So if we were pregnant with twins, it would have been a coincidence, but it's nice to know there was only one in there. So she did a few various different bits, and obviously trying to get a measurement from tip to toe, which took her a while because obviously the baby's moving around. And then they measure all sorts of different things to check for Down syndrome and things like that. I think it's something to do with the back of the neck. They have to try and measure like the fluid or something. So all in all, I think we were in there. Well, she was looking around in there for maybe about half an hour, and she kept saying, "Oh, I'm sorry it's taking a while." And we were like, "No, don't worry about that," because we just loved looking at it so much. It was like weird to see it. Like, obviously I've never seen that before, so it was like really strange to see it jumping around, and every time, like if she said something and I laughed, you could see the baby would move when I laughed. Yeah, it was just lovely. It was really nice, and kept proper laying back, so his legs were really up in the air. But yeah, it was really nice. She said he was really active and it was really lovely, and she kept trying to get some lovely pictures, so we ended up getting 6 pictures in the end because we thought family might want some. And I think it was it was 1 picture was £3 and 2 pictures were £5, so we had 6, so it was 15 quid, which probably to some people, if you've already had children, that's quite expensive, but we don't know any better, so it was okay for us. So once we'd finished with that, obviously wiped off the gel and stuff like that, and then I had to go and see another midwife. Lou had to go outside, he wasn't allowed to come in again. He had to go outside, and I had to go and have bloods taken again, and then they did my height and weight in there, and that lady was nice as well. It makes me laugh because every time they take your bloods they try and talk to you to distract you in case you're scared of needles, which doesn't bother me because I give blood anyway, but yeah, she was really nice as well. And yeah, I was only in there, in that room again for perhaps 5 minutes while she made a few notes with my maternity pack, my pregnancy pack, and then yeah, we were out. And the first sonographer actually did say if you don't get your second scan appointment in the next few weeks, then you should say something. Well, by 16 weeks, I think she said, which we hadn't, and we still haven't. But when I went to my next midwife appointment, apparently they've changed it, and I don't know if it's because of COVID, but I still haven't had my appointment through, and I'm over 17 weeks, so she said I should get it by the time I'm 18 weeks, so hopefully soon we'll know our date for the next scan, and then we're going to find out what the sex is, because Lou can't wait. And originally I was really against finding out the gender, but now I don't think I'd be able to wait till the end, so we're really excited to see if it's a boy or a girl. So yeah, we should have that appointment in the next 3 or 4 weeks, so that's exciting. The other thing I haven't mentioned is when I went to the second room, she took my blood so they could assess for the Edwards syndrome, Patau syndrome and Down syndrome, and then they say to you if it's high risk, someone will ring you in the next few days, so it'll be 1 to 2 days, and if it's low risk, we'll get a letter through. So obviously that plays on your mind quite a lot. You don't have to have the test, but we just thought, well, there's no harm having them, at least we know and we can prepare if they are high risk. But I think it was the next day or the day after we had the scan, I got a phone call from the midwife, and I was obviously, my heart was going because I thought, oh God. But she rang me and she was like, oh, I see you've had your scan, I can see all the pictures look good and your bloods have come back good. Obviously I didn't know that at the time, but that relieved me. She'd rang to book me in for the 16-week appointment, and then I think it was maybe a week after that we got our letter through with the statistics on, so if it was low risk or high risk. So we got our letter through. Well, it says 2 days they sent it after the scan, so I was a bit confused by it at first because the Edwards and Patau syndrome, we got a 1 in 11,400 chance, which obviously is low risk. But then Down syndrome, it says 1 in 621, which compared to the other one is quite alarming. When you look at it, anything over 1 in 150 is considered low risk, so obviously that's fine. And it just sort of explains to you how to read it basically, but yeah, it was quite nice to hear that we were low risk. So here are our scan pictures. So, oh, hold it back so you probably can't see. There's quite a few. Some of them got his foot up in there. This one makes me laugh because it's literally so low back. I call it a he, I don't know why. I have no idea. And some, I think it's one of these two where it's got its arms behind its head, chilling. Yeah, we just keep those on the fridge. It's lovely, literally. The first few days after we came home from having the scan, I just kept those with me at all times. I was looking at them every second because I just think it's amazing. It blows my mind that I've grown this child inside of my body. I don't think I'll ever get over that. And people around me are probably sick to death of me saying it because it just blows my mind. So then we had our 16-week appointment with the midwife, and that's local, it's just down the road. And that's where we got to hear the heartbeat. So Lou was allowed to come, I've checked, and he's allowed to come to all the midwife appointments if he wants, but obviously you have to wear a mask and hand sanitizer and stuff. Yeah, our midwife's so nice, she's lovely. And do you know what I love about midwives? That they see pregnant people all the time, and they make you feel like you're the only person that they speak to, and they get really excited for you, and it's just really nice. Well, ours does anyway, I don't know if they'll do, but yeah, she was really nice. So went in and just chatted. So she just asked how I was doing, and last time I went she gave me a little pot to do urine sampling so that I could have it ready for when I go, so I haven't got to go and do it whilst I'm there. So I did that before I went, and she took that off and tested it, and I'm pretty sure they go and test it to see if the sugar's in your urine, to see if you've got gestational diabetes, but she said it was fine. And then she hopped me on the bed and we did the heartbeat, which was great, loved it. She did it for quite a while and Lou was filming it, so we've got a video, so I'll perhaps put a little clip in somewhere. And she said it was very strong heartbeat. I think she said most babies' heart rates around that sort of time range from 120 to 160, and ours was 158, so very strong. And she said it sounded very happy in there and moving around, and she moved it around a bit so I could see the difference between the baby's heartbeat and the sound of the placenta. But when she first did it, she was, oh, don't be alarmed if it takes me a few minutes to find it, because it can do. And it was literally like she put it on and it was there. I was like, oh, strong baby in there, it's nice to hear. So yeah, Lou filmed it all, which again, like the scan, when I finished the scan I kept looking at the pictures. I cannot stop watching the video. It just blows my mind that there's a baby in there. But yeah, so that was perhaps 2 or 3 minutes she was doing that for. And then we went back and sat down, and she just asked us if we had any questions, so we did ask quite a few questions. I forgot them all to start with, and I kept saying to myself, like, after my last appointment, I should write them down so I don't forget, and I didn't, but luckily I did remember them all. So it's definitely worth making a note of any questions you've got, because they know everything and they're really helpful. So what did we ask about? I asked about sleeping, because I was unsure. You know, you read so much. I know you're not meant to sleep on your back, but then you read only sleep on your left, because it gives you, I can't remember what the word is, serious baby brain. It's like better blood circulation, perhaps, something like that. The baby gets more oxygen, I think, but I find it so much comfier to sleep on my right hand side. And she said that was fine. She said up until I'm about 28 weeks I should try and sleep more on my left, because obviously the placenta's heavier and it blocks things. That was great news for me. We asked about travelling, because obviously a lot of our friends and family live up in Leicester, so we'll be going up there probably quite a bit. And she said it's fine, she said just make sure you have your seatbelt under the bump, and obviously we're going to stop anyway because I'm going to go for a wee. But she said, yeah, just take regular breaks and stretch your legs and things, so that was okay. Not meant to travel after a certain amount of weeks, just in case, which I probably won't anyway, because I don't really want to have my baby away from home. Then we booked in our next appointment, which is 24 weeks, and that's on the 12th of May. Don't really know what they'll do at that one. I know when for first time pregnancies you have a lot more appointments than you do for your second or so on. So perhaps just to be a checkup. I think she said they'd do my bloods again to check for my iron. So far, weight-wise, I've done okay. I don't know how, because, like I say, my first trimester, beige food was my friend. But I have done well. I lost quite a lot of weight before Christmas, and then obviously you have the Christmas pounds. So I've probably only gained about 3 or 4 pounds since then, which pretty happy with that, to be honest. And again, I've not really been exercising. I've barely even been going out for a walk for the first few weeks because the weather was so bad, but hopefully now it is getting a bit later on in the year. It's going to get sunny soon, so I can actually go out a bit more, and when we're out of lockdown. So yeah, so that was just my 12-week scan and my 16-week appointment. So I'll keep updating. I'll perhaps do my next one on my 20-week scan and my 24-week appointment, and let you know how we get on. So thank you for watching. I hope some people found that helpful and settled your mind a bit as to how the process works, and I shall see you in the next video.